Hello friends, it's me, and today 长江后浪推前浪，一代新人换旧人。Each new generation excels the previous. Let's check out film theory. Step aside, center. Buddy the Elf should have your job. From the film theorists, together, let's go. Let's start. Thank you.
Buddy the Elf may have ended up saving Christmas, but someone else in this holiday classic is gonna end up ruining it. I'm looking at you, Saint Nick. It's time for you to hang up the hat and pass the reins of the reindeer on to some fresh blood, or otherwise, we can kiss Christmas goodbye. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory, the show that always tries to be on the nice list. So let me level with...
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory.
You loyal theorists, Christmas and the holiday season are my favorite time of year. I love the vibe. I love cold weather and cozy clothes and snuggling up on the couch to watch all of the Christmas classics. I'm talking Polar Express, Home Alone, Love Actually, The Grinch, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. And yes, I will die on that hill. Those movies came out in December and I always associated them with Christmas. Sue me. But probably the biggest Christmas hit of my generation was Elf. For the 1% of the audience who's never seen Elf, seriously, go watch it, but it's about a child named Buddy who, after sneaking into Santa's big bag of presents, finds himself up at the North Pole. He's raised by Santa's elves and ends up believing that he himself is an elf. But, of course, that's a problem when he grows into his 6'3" human Will Ferrell body and realizes that he can't quite do the things other elves can or build toys as quickly as them. Once Buddy learns the truth, he's also told that his biological father is on the naughty list. But he decides to walk to New York City to meet him and get him back into Santa's good graces. Cue the comedic fish-out-of-water comedy as Buddy discovers the real world, tasting perfume, going on an escalator, and not knowing to look both ways before crossing the street. But here's the thing, friends. Did you hear what I just said? Buddy walks to New York from the freaking North Pole. That's an insane journey, and it's just the beginning of the incredible, borderline superhuman things we see Buddy do in this film. Honestly, it was enough that it made me want to run the numbers to see just how strong Buddy is, and let me tell you, this lovable goof is actually incredibly powerful. But even more than that, when you look at Elf and its story and how it interprets the lore of Christmas, because of these powers and how he views himself and the holiday, Buddy would be a better Santa than Santa actually is in this world. Yeah, you heard that right. Today we're proving that Santa messed up big time and that Buddy and his powers were the real solution to all of his problems. Grab your sleigh bells and mistletoes, loyal theorists. You're never gonna look at Christmas the same way again. And actually, on that note, real quick before we get started, I've always wanted to do a theory seeing if we can empirically prove whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie. And I want your help to make that happen. Please go to the comments and answer these two questions for me. 1. What makes a movie a Christmas movie? And 2. Do you think Die Hard is a Christmas movie? We'll be using...
Alright, comment down below. Thank you so much. In my opinion, what makes a movie a Christmas movie is when everybody around you agrees with you that, hey, it's a Christmas movie. Hey, Doraemon could be a Christmas movie for all you know.
Your answers as data for this theory in Christmas 2025. I would love to get your help on that, so subscribe if you want to see the answer. Thank you so much for your help, but enough about that. Let's hop into Elf. So first...
there's a saying in Chinese, 规矩是死的，人是活的. Rules are dead, humans are alive. We prioritize humans.
Things first, to explain how Buddy is the fix for Christmas here, let's talk more about his powers. And let's start with that whole walking from the North Pole to New York City thing, shall we? Like, just on the face of things, this is an incredible accomplishment. We see Buddy set off on an iceberg, then trek through forests and atop mountains before arriving in New York. And yet he talks about this continental crosswalk like it's nothing.
I traveled to the 7 levels of the candy cane forest, past the sea of swirly, twirly gumdrops, and then I walked through the Lincoln Tunnel.
Like, give yourself more credit, buddy. That's a huge journey. Just drawing a straight line from the North Pole to New York gets a distance of about 3,400 miles, or 5,470 kilometers. And we actually know that Buddy traveled further than this because he said he went
through the Lincoln Tunnel.
The Lincoln Tunnel is on the west side of Manhattan, coming from New Jersey, so he had to walk around the city first. Just for the fun of it, I wanted to see how long this would take Buddy because, I mean, of course I did. The average walking speed for a man is 3 miles an hour, meaning that it would take Buddy 1,135 hours or 47 days to get to New York on foot. 47 days of walking non-stop. And that's assuming the straight line and that he wouldn't stop to rest at all. Which, by the way, we know he barely needs any of because later in the film, when asked if he slept well, Buddy responds with,
I got a full 40 minutes.
yeah, Buddy considers just 40 minutes to be a full night's sleep before he's fully rested and ready for the next day. Dude,
That is not good. That is not healthy. If I'm not wrong, it is 7 hours of uninterrupted rests. 7 hours.
I regularly operate on just 4 or fewer, and I'm just a sleepy little guy all the time. Yet Buddy is chipper and
that's
energetic with that little. Man has just got insane endurance. But that's just the beginning. He's also got incredible
How?
speed. See, though the movie
How?
makes a point to show that Buddy can't make toys as fast as an elf can, he's certainly no slouch. In Santa's workshop, we see that the elves are making Etch-a-Sketches to give out as gifts. The daily quota for each elf is 1,000 Etch-a-Sketches per day, a number that Buddy falls incredibly short on.
I made 85.
Yeah, despite not hitting even a tenth of what the other elves can do in a day, Buddy still made 85 of these Etch-a-Sketches, a number that is still incredibly impressive. Remember, even though he's being held to elf standards, Buddy isn't an elf. We should be holding him to human standards instead. So let's think this through. While it's not easy,
Yeah, exactly. It's different species, different race, literally different species.
to find out exactly how long it would take to make.
It's like competing. It's like trying to say that you are a lousy swimmer, comparing you to a shark. You're a lousy climber, comparing you to a monkey. You're lousy, like you're a lazy flower. Sorry, you're a lousy flyer, comparing you to an eagle.
Manufacture an Etch-a-Sketch, especially by hand since the official products are mass-produced by machines and factories. There are videos online of regular people trying to make their very own DIY Etch-a-Sketches using the original patent for the product as instructions. And these things are complicated. There are plenty of moving parts, powders, and unusual materials that have to be placed precisely for the toy to work correctly. This is not something that you're going to be slapping together in 5 minutes, and yet that's exactly what Buddy's doing. If we assume that the elves have regular working hours, which we're going to, considering we also know that they have time for leisure activities like basketball or singing in choirs.
You're the only baritone in the elf choir. You bring us down a whole octave.
That means that they're making toys for 8 hours per day. So Buddy's 85 Etch-a-Sketches in that 8 hours means that he's averaging 10.6 Etch-a-Sketches per hour, one every 5.5 minutes. And this isn't even taking into account that Buddy hit 85 before the end of the workday, so theoretically that number should be even higher. Now, all of that is incredible, far beyond what a normal human could be able to do, but the thing that really brings this home for me, well, in one of the best parts of the film, Buddy goes to a Gimbel's department store that's decorated to look like the North Pole. The store is having an event where kids can come meet a mall Santa the next day, and Buddy gets very excited.
Oh my god! I know him!
However, Buddy doesn't think the store looks good enough to host Santa and decides to wait for the department store to close so he can decorate it the right way. And man, he goes all out. He nails fake snow to all the fake houses, makes paper snowflakes and paper chains, builds an LED display, a huge Lego set of the New York skyline, and even an Etch-a-Sketch drawing of the Mona Lisa, all in one night. One night. Department stores like Gimbel's in New York close at 9 p.m. and open at 10 a.m., so Buddy would have had just 13 hours to get all of this done. Well, technically even less than that since he thinks Santa is getting there at 10.
10 a.m. tomorrow!
Santa's coming to town.
But even if we assume that he takes the whole time, 13 hours is an insane amount to get this done in. Since behind-the-scenes information said it took the art department 2 weeks to build everything on this set. And when you break it down piece by piece,
Yeah, 2 weeks with a team of people. He's soloing it.
you can see why. First off, let's take a look at the Lego New York skyline that Buddy made. Now, there is an official New York skyline Lego set measuring 10 inches high, but this is much smaller than the one we see Buddy build. We're not going to be able to get a real estimate on how long it would have taken Buddy just looking at this official set. So, to get a better idea, let's look at a similarly sized Lego set, the Eiffel Tower. This one measures 4.8 feet tall and is 10,001 pieces. Why they couldn't have found a way to lose a piece and make it an even 10K, I can't imagine. Anyway, this is still a bit smaller than the New York skyline we see in the movie, but it's also
I wonder why there's the extra one. Why?
way more complicated, so I think it's a fair comparison. According to some reviews I found online, this set can take anywhere between 17 and 30 hours to build. More than a whole day just on this one Lego set. And that's with all the right pieces accurately labeled and clear instructions. Buddy had no guide and no proper pieces for New York. He basically raw-dogged this set. Even going with the lower estimate because Buddy probably is a pro Lego builder, 17 hours after closing time with no rest or breaks would mean that Buddy wouldn't get to finish his Lego set until 2 p.m., long after the store opened. Then there's the Mona Lisa drawing Buddy made in an Etch-a-Sketch. I don't know if you've ever played with one of these things, but just writing hello can be a challenge, let alone creating genuine artwork. But as it turns out, Etch-a-Sketch artwork is a thing, with talented creators making genuine works of art with the toy. This includes the YouTuber Princess Etch, who actually recreated the Mona Lisa herself. And this is how long she said it took her.
It took over 30 hours, but I have finally finished the Mona Lisa on a classic Etch-a-Sketch.
It took her more than...
Okay, Princess H. I didn't know. Okay, you are amazing. I respect you a lot. That is impressive.
30 hours, and she probably does this sort of thing regularly, definitely more than Buddy has. And just the icing on the cake of this whole scene, just making the paper crafts hanging around the store should have taken Buddy months working alone. Quicker than a single person should have been able to do in a single night, even if he was working fast enough the paper was just flying all over the place. Websites that have instructions for making a simple paper snowflake say it can take up to 10 minutes just for one snowflake, and we see hundreds of these things throughout the store. Oh, and also, Buddy actually pulls this stunt again at his father's home, with dozens and dozens of other Christmas decorations all over, probably made in even less time. It's crazy. But even if all of that isn't enough to prove to you that Buddy is some sort of superhuman, that he has some weird Christmas-themed power set with super endurance and super speed and maybe time dilation powers, this right here is irrefutable proof. About halfway through the film, Buddy and his stepbrother Michael are walking through Central Park when they're ambushed by bullies who throw snowballs at them.
Son of a nutcracker!
Buddy decides to fight back and tells Michael,
Start making as many snowballs as you can.
But here's the thing, in the 13 seconds it takes Michael to make just one snowball, Buddy has made dozens, at least 30 by my count, and they're all perfectly round and symmetrical. That means that he was making at least 2 snowballs per second, and that's just the start of it. Buddy then takes these snowballs and fires them off at the bullies, moving so fast that his arm is literally blurring. And this isn't some stylistic fast forward. We see the bullies moving at normal speed while the trail of snowballs is being thrown at them, all while Buddy is moving at superhuman speeds and pivoting on a dime. And on top of that, his aim is even dead on. Buddy basically 360 no-scopes these guys with no hesitation. Regardless, the most important thing here is that this is undeniable visual proof that Buddy has these abilities. All in all, Buddy may not be a great elf, but he's absolutely a superhuman. It's clear that he has abilities, whether that's super endurance and stamina from walking that far, or super speed and time manipulation powers from the sheer amount of things he can get done in such little time. But this then begs the question, why? Where did Buddy get these powers and why does he have them? I mean, unless the elf universe is secretly crossing over with the MCU and we have a mutant here, there must be some reason for all of this. He had to get these powers from somewhere. Like, say, someone who might need endurance, speed, and time manipulation to, I don't know, fly around the world in a single night? Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, but all of the powers we see Buddy use are things that would be very useful to Santa. You know, things he would need to carry out his Santa duties. Super speed to get to every house he needs to visit in one night, time dilation to give himself more time to deliver presents to millions of people worldwide in such a period, super endurance to make sure he doesn't pass out from the physical exertion of all of it. That really stuck out to me while rewatching this movie for this theory, and at first, I wondered if this was Santa sort of training Buddy up to be his replacement, so that he and Mrs. Claus could retire and ride off into the sunset to enjoy some time without worrying about who's been naughty and nice. And believe me, I would have loved to slap Evil Plan on a thumbnail in big red text next to Santa for this. After all, Santa knows Buddy's entire backstory, who his parents are, where his family is, but doesn't return him, or even take him back to the orphanage. Instead, Buddy is taken in by Papa Elf, Santa's right-hand man, and gaslit into thinking he's an elf for 30 plus years. Buddy has all of the same powers Santa would need, and is trained on how to maintain Santa's sleigh, perhaps so he could keep it operational out in the field, something that Buddy straight up does by the end of this movie. Honestly, I thought that was a really compelling twist, but sadly, it just didn't work out. That's just not how Santa is characterized in this movie. He still believes in Christmas, seems to pity Buddy more than take him under his wing, and doesn't really indicate that he did anything to give Buddy powers. I'm guessing that there's just something inherently magical about the North Pole that supercharges humans like Buddy and Santa. Plus, Santa doesn't do anything to stop Buddy from leaving the North Pole. Not exactly a good move if this is who you see as your ticket to retirement. And yet, here's the thing. That should have been Santa's plan, because Buddy is way better at this whole Christmas thing than Santa is. Let's be real. Santa's been doing this a long time. I mean, if he's really St. Nicholas, that means he's been doing the whole present delivery thing for basically a couple thousand years. And clearly that's taken its toll on Santa. I mean, sure, he still loves Christmas, but look at how he's characterized in Elf. When he first crash lands in Central Park and Buddy runs up to help him, Santa's first instinct is to threaten Buddy before he recognizes him.
Back off, Slick. Scare the deer.
He complains about having to avoid people photographing him.
Paparazzi have been trying to nail me for years.
And when annoyed, he flat out says that he's too old for this job anyway.
I'm getting too old for this job.
And partially because of this, people have slowly but surely lost the Christmas spirit. And that's a real problem, since in this world, Christmas spirit is like actual magic. It's a resource needed to power things in the North Pole or to make Santa's sleigh fly.
We have a real energy crisis on our hands. I mean, just see how low the plasmometer is.
There's just no Christmas spirit anymore.
This Santa just isn't up to the job anymore. But do you know who is? Who would be able to keep the Christmas spirit alive? Who straight up does that in this movie and saves Christmas? Buddy. Think about it. Buddy would have been the perfect replacement Santa Claus. We've already covered how he has all of the same powers as Santa, and he has the right disposition for the job. He's jolly and jovial, almost annoyingly so, and even Santa knows that he's good at spreading the Christmas spirit.
All they need is just a little Christmas spirit.
I'm good at that.
I know you are.
And by the end of the movie, Buddy even has his own Mrs. Claus in Josie, a woman he met while she was acting like an elf at Gimbel's. And he even comes to visit the North Pole regularly. All in all, Buddy is the perfect replacement for Santa, but old St. Nick is too stubborn to see it. Come on, Nicholas, sometimes the old guard needs to hang up the hat and let some fresh blood keep the magic alive. Or...
I absolutely agree. You do recognize that as time passes, common sense change over time, and his old outdated mindset is a toxic mindset, sadly speaking. I experienced it several times in my life, that the old generation's traditional thinking is getting in the way of positive progress. It's getting in the way of actual good development, growth. And, well, 长江后浪推前浪，一代新人换旧人。Each new generation excels the previous, and it's honorable. It's the right thing to do. As the older individual, as a senior, to respect this inevitable flow of time and say, my time is up. Let me just retire. Let the next generation take over me. Something like what MadPat did. This is the film theorists. MadPat retired this year. Man, I miss you, MadPat, but you did the right thing.
Otherwise, you might just ruin Christmas. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut. And a real quick reminder to please go to the comments and 1, let me know what you think makes a movie a Christmas movie, and 2, whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I am so hyped for that theory, and having your help make it would be incredible. Happy holidays, loyal theorists. I'll see you next week.
Right, thank you so much. I want to see the meme at the back though. The meme.
Just a
New food theory recipe. Hey, food theory! But hey, that's just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit. Wait. This is a film theory. Why am I saying food theory? One more time. Sorry. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And how can I say it? I nearly said film theory bon appetit. It should be film theory and cut. One more time. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Thank you so much. Subscribe. Thank you. Touch my heart. Hope you guys have a wonderful day ahead. Wonderful year ahead. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year 2025.